Yes, indeed, it's Democracy Day this Monday, the 29th day of May. Now, the Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari has made progress in containing the jihadist group Boko Haram in the northeast. But in other parts of the country, he faces increasing security challenges.
Now, from kidnapping to clashes between herdsmen and farmers, experts say a new strategy is required to make Nigeria safe. Now, in this report, Sifon Essien takes a look at the people's perspective on security under the Buhari government.
Our soldiers.
Buhari celebrated speech at the Chatham House in February 2015.
On insecurity, there is a genuine cause for worry, both within and outside Nigeria. Apart from the civil war era, at no other time in our history has Nigeria been this insecure.
The speech clearly indicated the path his government would toe. And in his inaugural speech on May 29, 2015, Buhari reiterated that the Boko Haram insurgency was the country's immediate security challenge.
We face enormous challenges: insecurity, pervasive corruption, the hitherto unending and seemingly impossible fuel and power shortages are the immediate concerns. We are going to tackle them head on.
2 years down the line, the Buhari government has made considerable progress in the fight against Boko Haram in the northeast and the release of a large number of the kidnapped Chibok schoolgirls. The government's approach has also resulted in the recovery of the territories under the control of insurgents and improved diplomatic relations with strategic partners, including troops contributing countries of the multinational Joint Task Force. This has prompted a policy shift by the United States, which is now considering selling combatant weapons to Nigeria.
The current government and, of course, our military and our defense forces are trying to fill in gaps, are trying to build capacity, are trying to respond effectively as much as they can. I mean, you have to understand the limitations too. You have to understand the dynamics too.
Amid the achievements are other increasing security challenges. According to a report compiled by SBM Intelligence, a Lagos-based intelligence consulting firm, herdsmen conflict accounts for more deaths than Boko Haram in the last 1 year.
In focusing too much on Boko Haram, we have left those other cleavages, and they are becoming more dangerous than Boko Haram. I will mention the farmers-herders conflicts, for example. And this was the same way that Boko Haram started. You know, we left it, we had like a cynical attitude to it, and then it grew into a monster.
I know that there's still a lot of work to do. The military engagement is the beginning of this journey. So we are only at the beginning of the journey.
In tackling the security challenges, former President Olusegun Obasanjo advocates the carrot and stick approach. The Buhari government has another 2 years to prove its mettle and live up to its campaign hype. Sifon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
All right, joining us now is Chapter Chairman, Advancing Security Worldwide, Seyi Adetayo. And also joining us on Skype is security expert, Ona Ehomu. Good morning, gentlemen. Of course, we have a bit of a mix-up there, but we'll sort it out as we move along. Happy Democracy Day to you, gentlemen.
I wish you so.
Okay, let's start this way. Now, on the first day of Buhari's inauguration, May 29, 2015, he did move the military command to the northeast, the theater of war, the epicenter of the Boko Haram activities. Now, in your own words, how would you assess, of course, the performance as far as security is concerned?
Well, by and large, I would say they've done well at the federal level. And because one key important thing here is the fact that the political will to actually tackle this is there. It's obvious. Though it has not, it has not led to corresponding results, which I believe that with time, over time, we'll be able to get our acts right, and get the desired result. But so far, government have been able to decimate this group, especially their capability to hold territories in Nigeria. And we could also see in terms of empowerment, enhancement of the capacity of the military, also through recruitment, through budget allocations, and also reorganization of the procurement process, because that is very key, because that is where we saw a whole lot of money, being siphoned, and we discovered that when they are supposed to have the right equipment, they don't get it. So now I think it's a lot better, and regional collaboration between Nigeria, Chad Republic, Niger Republic, and Cameroon on this issue is a lot better now compared to the way it used to be. And by and large, the body language in terms of an hand to Boko Haram is clear, and I think the military are actually interpreting it. But on the other hand, we still have the other issues like a armed robbery, kidnapping, headsmen attacks. Those are still part of security issues that but you see, by and large, most of these things has to do with also the ability or capability of the state governments too to manage crises as they are actually emerging from their own state. I think by and large, the problem we're having with this headsman attack, to me, has to do more about the state governors' inability to manage. Most of the state governments.
But there'll be the argument of the fact that the federal government still controls every security apparatus in the country.
Okay, let me give you an example. You might not like, many people might not like Fayose for some reasons, but to me, I think I applaud the way he has been managing headsman issue. He has, it's
been very decisive.
Yes, and he's telling them, come, these people are welcome in my state. But even though I'm welcoming you, you cannot go beyond this. And my own people, if you do this, I will treat you the same way I would treat any other person. And then it is clear, you saw the one that happened last time concerning those that went to go and kill cattle. He got them arrested. I say, when we are seeing actions like that, you don't have reasons to say...
So you think his strategy has worked?
Yes, it's working. And then we'll see state governors that are actually playing politics around this. So it's not really working. So when you create the problem for the federal government, you are not expecting the federal government to now start sending troops to come and quell issues that you could have easily managed.
Okay, let's bring in our next guest now, Adekunle Ojo, a lawyer. Thanks for joining us on the program.
Thank you so much.
A lot of analysts and experts have said that corruption is the reason why a lot of things are not working the way they're supposed to work. Even the fight against terrorism in the Northeast, a lot of people had said that corruption was at the bane of things, why things hadn't worked.
Well, I think by and large, those who have arrived at that conclusion apparently have said the obvious. Because if you look at this climb, I'm talking about our own side of the world, you find out that most of the vices that we're talking about now are offshoots of what I could call poverty. And how did we arrive at this level? Apparently, because we have a common pattern, we have something in common, and some few people are sitting on it. I think that's basically, if like you just talk about security now. If you find out so well, at a point, if not that the procurement apparatus are to be readjusted to suit the purpose for which this government, I mean, for the policy of this very government. Otherwise, we will have found ourselves the way we used to. Apparently, at a point, the morale of the fighters were even exceedingly low. So, I mean, someone had to come around and say, look, we are sorry for what happened in the past, but this time around, the drain pipe through which what should come to you passes to other places. We need to block it. So I think I agree with the analysis that corruption has been a major bane to the extent. If you like, we've had opportunity to watch some of the clips about people who joined this Boko Haram of a thing. You find out that amongst them, a good number, a few of them are not even Muslim for that matter. They never really got to know anything about Quran, but then they were attracted because there was poverty. And because they were victims of this underdevelopment by our neo-colonialist leaders. Because I keep saying this simply because we had the colonialists, yes, they did so much that
put the people under undue oppression. But then even our current, those who took over, I mean the black men like you and I, yes, they never really stop at that. They continue as if nothing has happened. You imagine somebody was just the chief of defense staff. You can imagine the huge sum of money that they are talking about. You can imagine the NIA of it and so much of it. Yeah. So I think basically corruption has been a major bane, and it has really led us to where we are today.
I wonder if Onai Homo is with us. Okay, let me stay with you then, Adekunle Ojo. Sheyi talked about the need to decentralize the security apparatus. Will that really help in the fight against Boko Haram and such, violent uprisings against the state?
Well, I think by and large, your colleague tried to say something, and let me re-echo it, because yes, I believe so much in it. I believe so much in constitutionality. I believe that the moment you have a legal framework that is no longer attending to the yearnings of the people, then you have to jettison it. A lot of people have had cause to ask that, look, now we have gotten to a level, we are so large, we are so big, and of diverse interest of what I could call people, I mean, we have become more of an enigma as a people, that you keep asking yourself, can this happen in this country? We are so diverse that we need to attend to our needs, and at a level of a decentralized security apparatus. How do I mean? Yes. Look at the Constitution. If it has vested in the state governors the power that you are the chief security officer of your state or whatever it is, and at the end of it, you don't even have any command on the police, you don't even have any command on VI, you don't even have any command on so many of this. So it's high time that we look at this angle of the Constitution. Let it be that even at the local government level, at the state level, there will be some powers yielded. And the same thing has affected us so much, because at a point some of us keep asking, can't we look into fiscal federalism so that at the end of the day, people that go cap in and to Abuja month in, month out to beg for money, let them be feeders too, let them be able to feed their people, let them be able to do a lot of things. I think it's high time we look at
that is a debate that
I know you want to say something, but let's go on a break and then you come back to say what you want to say. Stay with us on TVC Breakfast. We're discussing security issues in Nigeria, commemorating the Democracy Day today in Nigeria. We'll come back to dwell more on this. Stay with us.
Thanks for remaining with us on this Democracy Day. We're looking at the fight against corruption and, of course, the achievements of this administration as far as security is concerned. How far so far?
How far so far?
Yes, indeed. Our guest in the studio, Adekunle Ojo, former second national vice president of the Nigerian Bar Association, of course, is a lawyer. Thanks for remaining with us. And a security expert, Sheyi Adetayo of ACES International. Before we get back into our discussions with them, let's listen to what Nigerians have to say as we mark Democracy Day today.
Either we like it or not, Nigeria has progressed. But we need to fix the economy. The security aspect is okay, it's better now. But we have a lot to do to fix this country.
The economic situation as it is now is really very harsh. And an average Nigeria could not cope with the situation. So our government should be up and doing too.
We are not doing well. We are still in the kindergarten stage when it comes to matter of democracy. Because when you talk of a democratic government, government of the people and by the people. But the people now, they are dying along the streets. Yes, and we say the democracy is on. Where's the nation's, what do you call it, cake? To those people dying?
As a country, we have remained as one till date. Is a just cause for us to celebrate, because with all that we have gone through over the years, ordinarily maybe this country would have split.
On the other side, we don't really have much to celebrate. Yes, I know democracy is a process. Like America, where they are now, they didn't come there today. But in the real sense, we've not really practiced democracy the way it should be. Government on their own side have been failing laws, have not been obeying court orders. Elections have not been done as and how it should be done. Yes, you may say it's a learning process, but I think we have to stick to how it should be done before this country will create much more problem for ourselves.
Where we are believing God to take this nation to, we have not gotten to the place. But what we know for sure is that we have left Egypt. And today we are facing a lot of issues, obstacles.
Nigeria has done well, but we need to reframe ourselves, tackling corruption, because that's the only thing that has really set us back. Otherwise, our 18 years is quite memorable. We have done well for these 18 years of steady democracy.
No matter how we look at it, the best government you can have is a government which allows people to determine how they should be governed. And this is what we have had now for the past 18 years. And actually, it has brought a lot of progress. People might think that Nigeria is not moving. But when you think about 18 years ago and see infrastructures that are now that were not there then, see a lot of tolerance that is now that was not then, and see the freedom that we are experiencing today that was not there in the past, then you have cause to thank God.
Okay.
Nigerians always have optimism. We've left Egypt, but we're not in
the promised land is still
in the promised land yet.
A distance away. Now, Sheyi Adetayo, let's look at this government's anti-corruption scorecard, so to speak. How would you rate the war against corruption?
Well, let me speak within the security perspective. I think by and large, if you look at the way it has actually played out within the military, the security agencies, I think that is been highly commendable. It's not business as usual anymore. Talking about how organs now outside, because when you talk about anti-corruption, it's not about EFCC alone. We have the Bureau of Public Procurement, who has saddled responsibility of ensuring that government agencies they manage their procurement process in within the best and acceptable practice. So that is also there. We also have the ICPC and other laws that, especially the executive order that the Vice President issued out a couple of days ago, I think is a right step in the right direction. I was in government before, so and I understand how terrible, I mean, how difficult it is for you to pass files through, tables in government establishments. Even an ordinary, of course,
according to the acting president, he talked about the plugging of loopholes of corruption. Exactly. How effectively has that been done?
Well, the law just came out, and it came out with its own punishments that will follow those who fail. So I believe that it largely has to do with the ability now to implement this law, to see that that those who contravene the laws are punished immediately.
Let me bring Adekunle in here. There has been promise right from the inception of this administration that there will be special courts to try corruption. And up till now, we have not seen those materialized yet, even though they'll say things are in the pipeline. But how challenging really is it to set up special courts for corruption?
Well, my take really on that is this, and meaning that I have not changed my position. I do not see any reason why we keep thinking about creating special courts for almost everything on earth. I said that without mincing word, because I can tell you that even some of these laws that we're talking about, the corruption of a thing, has always been in our laws, were provided for long before now. Thank God that it was crystallized in what I could call what we now call the EFCC Act. It has been brought into force, and people are beginning to, because the volume of these activities has become so mountainous and so threatening that certain things had to be done. And I think we really need to praise the government of General Obasanjo, for bringing in that kind of a law. Having said that much, for me as a person, A lawyer, well trained, can do whatever he needs to do when he sits as a judge at any point in time. And the moment you start classifying, you want to have special court for election, you want to have special court for kidnappers, you want to have special court for corruption, you want to, for almost everything. I don't really see that as a solution to our problem. Rather, I will want to see a situation whereby our courts are well equipped and men of integrity are brought in to sit there. We want to see people who can look at the face of the demagogue without winking and damn his treachery. We need strong-minded people to sit on our bench and not people who will just who wants to see what Lagos State government wants, who wants to see what the president wants. Oh, you want me to go against the government of the just you should understand that you are a judge for crying out aloud. And I think basically for me, I don't really see any need for having special court for almost all the offenses. The judges that sit on one, it can sit on, yes, there is nothing wrong in departmentalizing. And how do I mean? Because if you get to some of our courts now, there is what we call divisions. There are certain judges, they sit on land for a particular period of time. The man who sat on land matter few years back, maybe perhaps this year again, is transferred to another division. And the essence of doing this is that so that you can touch almost every, and you can become a master of all, because as a lawyer, you are expected to know your law, even if you are, if they wake you up in the middle of the night, you should be able to say, this is how I feel about this thing. And I think at that level, it should be made to remain where it is.
Okay, Sheyi, of course, I know you want to respond to that, but let me quickly throw this in while you respond. The issue of institutions, building institutions, so that it's not really an issue of a weak person or a strong person who is handling or manning the affairs in any government
I think it's one of the reasons why, I mean, people are actually calling for special courts. Because it's obvious that the justice system in this country is faulty. Right from investigation from the Nigerian police, the prosecutors from Ministry of Justice, the judges that sits on case, and the prison system that are supposed to, you know, keep those people. Let me give you an example. Sometime like a few years ago, the DSS arrested a group of kidnappers that kidnapped, I think, 2 weeks or 3 weeks old baby in Nasarawa. They were able to arrest them somewhere in Abuja. They took them to court in Nasarawa State. And do you know what happened? The judge, the courts, sentenced them with an option of fine, 7,000 naira. 4 of them. Get on there, they pay 28,000 naira. And they are off the hook. There is problem with our justice system. And that's the reason why we are having kidnappers. Kidnappers kidnappers are everywhere now. Is the cheapest and best profession right now. It is an all-commerce affair. Why? Because we have laws that are not actually biting the people. Recently, the state government came up with law. I mean, with a law that says that once you are arrested, you kill somebody, then you serve the the capital punishment. You don't need to kill somebody if I mean, for you to sacrifice. I mean, to give your life. But since the law came on board, how many people have we seen being prosecuted? You see, when the risk is very, very low, people will be motivated. You see, in security we talk about triangle of theft, and it's also it's applicable to this. We have the object, which is always constant, like the money, things that they want to steal. We have the motivation and the opportunity. In theft, what we try to remove is the opportunity. But in kidnapping, what you need to remove now is the motivation, because the opportunities are always there.
Well, that applies to corruption too. Remove the opportunity.
No, this kidnapping issue now, because you see, armed robbery have really gone down. Why? Because they found armed robbery, the risk in armed robbery to be too high now, and the kidnapping very low. So they are now moving to kidnapping now. So the motivation is very high, because nobody is actually being punished for this.
All right. I guess the courts are watching, and today is Democracy Day. We're looking towards the next 1 year. We'll certainly be holding the government to account on how things will be. Sheyi Adebayo, assistant of Access International, thank you very much for coming on the program. And Dekunle Ojo, thank you very much for coming as well. Thank you. Now, this is where we also come to the end of today's edition of the program. Tomorrow, we'll be back again. And as you go about today, have Nigeria at the back of your mind. Absolutely. And pray for Nigeria too. All right, before we wrap, let's bring you the weather outlook for major cities across the world. On that note, I am Ngozi Alebu, and enjoy Democracy Day. And I am Mike Okwache. Bye for now.